Hello, and welcome back to a personal code of conduct. I thought about this for hours and I didn't end up doing it because, I came up with topics, with ideas, with stories, with fashion, with all sorts of things I said I was going to do, and I didn't end up doing any of them. I haven't washed in freaking 3 days. I haven't taken care of myself. And I haven't worked like I have to do. I've just been consuming content to fill the emptiness of my soul. I'm an adult who doesn't feel she works enough, who finds herself completing unproductive content. Content. It's going to be fine. But another week, another Monday, another excuse to make sure I finish my projects. I'm on time. I'm not a whole ass month late. And things are going fine. I'm not stressed to the gills. But that's fine. So enough of my dramatic, overly annoying self. Let's figure out what we're going to talk about this week. I don't fucking know. Because I've already given a summary of my existence as a human being. This very gross human who needs to look less gross for tomorrow. And hasn't 2 days have just gone past and now another week is coming. But yeah. I'm going to settle, structure, plan, grow, be a human, sleep well, all that shit, and start working out again. Attempt number 2 to work out again before I get fat and hate myself again. As usual. But work out instead of eating like a fat fuck. So, what are our plans for today? Our plans for today is to... I do not fucking know. Because I have just been laying down like a fish. So, what am I going to talk about today? I don't know. See me wasting time. But okay. Let me just give you a glimpse of a high fantasy story. No plot line, but just going to go. Fucking, let's go! That is dumb. That is fucking dumb. What have I watched today? What have I seen today? But let's start. So, basic plot line of the general story. I've been thinking about wanting a story where I know this is going to be one of those fucking self-insert fantasy stories, but the story structure is this. It's going to be xianxia inspired. It's not going to have European ambience. It's going to have more space age, African moving around the world ambience, but also xianxia inspired. In fact, they are ascending into mortality or ascending into various fucking power levels. And it's going to begin. I'd want her to be a farm girl. Yeah, I'm going to look for different atmosphere of it on a farm. Maybe a Yoruba farm with roofs touching almost to the floor. I can almost imagine with roofs going almost to the floor and looking cool and being a vibe. Low roofs, smooth underground doors, cool rooms in humid air. But she's going to be a farm girl. And one reason or the other, I don't want it to be a dramatic parental death, but one reason or the other, she finds herself following, I'm not going to call it Tao, because I don't know enough about Taoism or Taoism to have one of those. It's just going to be very loosely inspired, but I'd be willing to do more, Nigerian research. Says the girl who hasn't even done shit to exist. Fuck. Another Monday. But I like the fact that this keeps me consistent. This is it gnaws me in my mind if it's a Sunday happens and I haven't done this. So, our main character is a farm child who doesn't have any particular ambition. In fact, she doesn't feel anything. She doesn't have direction or structure. She just knows there's some things that she desperately does not want. But right now, she feels nothing. She understands, all she knows about life is that the crops will grow. And one day, should I make this world one of those fantastical worlds where there's not some form of LGBTQ blah 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 discrimination? I should make it one of those fantastical worlds where it's that. Because generally, I'm going on a tangent. I now know why those things were my previous podcasts were so long. I always just go on random tangents. I'm going on a tangent. In societies where I feel most of the issues that prevent, that affected a lot of, past relationships, the tendency for, power imbalances. So a lot of people who lived in societies where there was some form of acceptance of queer culture. It's like queer in the Western sense. I don't even know anything about Yoruba culture. Like, everybody's just trying to live. Nobody's trying to be a freaking historian about the sexual patterns and life behaviors of ancient Yoruba people. So, but I know like it was a lot. There were empires, there was stuff, and yada yada yada. So, but the thing is, with past relationships and relationships now, there's often a lot of power imbalance. So in societies where like same-sex relationships, often even among men, and like, because I know there are some African societies where warrior women were allowed to take wives. So it's like, when there's power imbalance, you find somebody who is heterosexual being made a victim. And if there's like a new overthrown, like people are overthrown, there's not like, I don't know, this is a theory I'm pulling out of my ass. It's like there's not like an overcorrection, because people who didn't, like an overcorrection, like a cleansing in quotes of societal behavior. Cleansing as in the, as I can't even describe it as cleansing. More like, how I put it, if there is a victim uprising, they ban all they usually go ahead and ban all homosexual behavior, and not rather than banning morally corrupt behavior. Oh God, I know this. Like, by morally corrupt, I mean the use of power imbalance relationships. I don't know, but things like that's just a very like loose concept to ban. Like, are you saying you can't date beneath a particular social ladder, or young men and women cannot be what's called gay for pay by their own will, or general gold diggers by their own will? Are you saying that? So it's just easier to just ban all homosexual activity, because power imbalance in young men who have no choice, who became the power imbalance, like societal power imbalance when it comes to sexual predation of not necessarily young men, of men in general, and women. Men by other men and women by other women. I don't know, for some reason it has always and continue. Okay, I think now in modern times in many societies it's starting to become an issue in heterosexual relationships, like sexual assault and in general. But like, the only time we ever had like an overcorrection is when sexual assault happened between people of the same genders, and that's what people are generally terrified for, especially a lot of men who want to be the lords in their own house, like understanding that your freedom could be taken away from you by another man, and I don't know, theories out my ass, yada yada yada. This was about me considering whether or not this fantastical world is going to have like interesting characters of like very romantic, because I love love. I love, but I don't want to participate. I won't say I don't want to participate. It seems like a lot of work to participate. I'm barely taking care of myself as a human being. Not to talk of like the need to go outside to a work. Reminds you that fuck, I should make like the bare minimum effort to present it, but I shouldn't gouge myself in food, because like I am happy looking relatively fit, and I hate the fact that I'm getting off point. So we're back to our story. So it's going to be one of those like ridiculous fantasy worlds where for some reason I won't even call it accepting. Yeah, let's not be dramatic and use the word accepting. There'll be a wide variety of cultures, levels of acceptance, different. Yeah, like the way our world is, because I can't imagine anything more accepting. It's just the way our world is. And she's going to live, I would say, a small town. Like, I think she should be part of the accepting. She should be from an accepting, interesting place. Because I don't know, human beings are weird. But the whole thing is that she finds herself on, let's just use the word Dao for now, because like it's obviously very xianxia inspired, and I haven't done any like local research. And she finds a journey to a reason to stay alive. I'm not going to call her like super talented. She's just a mob. But then again, it's always like, something special happens to the mob. But like, yeah, she has like the ability to channel the energy from the sun. So wherever the story is going to decide to channel energy from, God, I need to shower. Gross. Going to decide to channel energy from, and she decides But she's going to be, I won't say she's not going to be bad. She's going to be above average, but she's not going to be like, oh, some superhero, savior of the world, talent beyond talents. Like, because I want her journey to be a search for a reason to exist, a reason to feel, to have less void in her mind. And I know this is a shitty self-insert, so she's going to be like, things, like, she's going to have, like, loud dramatic emotions, but like people are going to see through that and realize that she actually feels nothing. She just feels this is the appropriate response to respond to in like a particular situation, because this is what she ought to feel. And it's probably just, she always has a play-by-play response, and she has brainwashed herself into thinking that that's her genuine emotion about the subject matter. But I feel like later in the story she's going to realize she's empty and dead and soulless. But like that's not for the beginning of the story. So she's going to start her journey. I'm going with a school setting, because for some reason, I remember the one story I started, like I don't even know whether I started it, whether I wrote it down or I said it on this podcast. For some reason, they're going to need like yin. Like, yes, I'm using a lot of xianxia terms because I haven't bothered to do the research on my own culture. Because I know we have a lot of cool spirits and magic, and not even the term is magic, and orishas and ifas, and I really like the concept of ori. I think, yeah, because I really like, I can totally write the xianxia story based on ori. Okay, let me explain the concept of ori as I understand it. Ori is basically, everyone believes that you are a god unto yourself, a small god. I won't use the word god, but like you are a divine being unto yourself. There is a Dumare. Dumare is the universe itself. He's not a he. A Dumare is above nonsense like gender. A Dumare is a Dumare. That's what a Dumare is. I think the whole like us referring to a Dumare as he is more of like a Western ideal. Like it has infiltrated into, because we use the word Edumare or Lua to refer to the Christian God in the Yoruba Bible. So Edumare is, well, existence, is consciousness, is everywhere. Then there are orishas. Now most orishas are basically humans whose ori, who developed their ori. I think I'd want to move orishas into the term of like immortals, like Chinese immortal deities. Human beings who develop their ori. Their ori is like your divine beings oneself. And a lot of spirits and stuff that are like, so lesser spirits, other creatures that have more powers than humanity, that they are divine beings who are also attempting to ascend into godhood. So not all divine beings are human, and not all beings if they had some form of power, they would exchange a wish or something you want for a piece of your ori. It can be for a blood sacrifices, or maybe your luck, or anything, or there'd be oro, or there'll be whatever it is going to be happening. Oh god, I totally want to mystify like the oro ceremony. Like, by the way, oro is something that men are only allowed to attend or something. Then if you're a woman, you get beaten. If you're a man, that's not part of the court, you get killed. Or only men are allowed to see them. I just think women are just not allowed in an oro, but men can continue their lives in an oro, I guess. So it's like it would look so cool. Like a lot of Yoruba mythos, I need to settle down and read if I'm serious about like starting that my second podcast as a novel. Maybe I'll even keep it in this place. Novelizations. We'll have like that as a podcast. We need to do some fucking serious research about Oro. See me trying to fill time because I'm like, oh my god, I didn't say anything this Sunday. What the fuck? So it's like mystifying the concept of Oro as well. So it's like wanting to improve her divine self, be more of an Ori person. I'm also going to put one random song by Asake at the end if I find it to download, like Palazzo. I don't know, for some reason that song has been stuck in my head, and I'm like, I should put it for like random people to listen to, because like it's very cheesy, shitty, very trap style, but in Yoruba style music. But I just like the vibes. Like the song is based on vibes, not lyrics. Says the girl who's gross. So our main character go. I just don't know how to tell a story. Like imagine a world, but for some reason I imagine her on a hill, like one of those Ibadan hills. Like will it be igneous rock or it be just like those weirdly shaped sediments that are, like piled high that dot around the southwest, or maybe it'll be like from my hometown Ondo and be like the Dory Hills type, and she'd be like a goat herder or something. I don't know, something cool. And like I don't want like tin roofs, like even though like a lot of places made of tin roofs. I'd prefer like pre-Yoruba Civil War architecture when the roofs were very low and there were a lot of canyons and a lot of paintings and general vibes and spirits and energy. Like I like reading all that stuff about like the Alafin or the Oyo Empire or older kingdoms. I'm going to heavily base this on like Yoruba stuff rather than looking at pre BC kingdoms in Nigeria, like the Kon, was it Kon or nah, the Nok? Yes, they saying it back, like the Nok cultures or any of those like massive, awesome like sultanates and caliphates and the Bori spirits that predates like the Islamization of northern Nigeria. It's going to be largely Yoruba mythos style. That's if I do fucking research about my own culture. Says the girl who has like an English accent in her Yoruba. So like we continue with our story. Our main character goes to Dao school or whatever, and the whole goal is to use Aroko. Aroko is Aroko like his characters. Oh, he's so cool. Not that stuff in like Chinese novels where they have like you write a character, a super powerful person says the character. It doesn't really translate well to English, and I don't know Chinese, and like a mountain range in the shape of that character, or like glory, like the whole talisman and coolness thing. But like that, but with Aroko is more hieroglyphics, more like representative. I don't think there are translations. I need to find a Yoruba student like that is well versed in Asha and history, because for some reason nobody knows like the true structure. Because I was very shocked to find out like the boxy mud houses with pan roofs. Then maybe like you might see a wooden roof or so somewhere. It's not like traditional Yoruba architecture. It's like very colonial. The boxiness is very colonial inspired, and like pre-Civil War Yoruba architecture is more wooded pillars with like interesting carvings and very low roofs. Think Bali structure, that kind of thing. So our main character goes to Dao school. She goes through levels, but I don't know, for some reason, maybe because of this, I don't want it to be like, she has bullies and whatever and whatnot. It's like obviously there are going to be people going through traumatic bullying experiences, but she's just going to be the weird kid that people think that she doesn't care, when she's going to cry about is when she knows deep down that she feels nothing. She just wants to know a reason to continue to exist. And I want it to be a world where certainty of the end is not known, because it's one of the few things that is going to be stop our main character from ending it all. She simply doesn't know what happens after the void. How am I going to do the Dao to the end if there's no reincarnation? Fuck. I really need to learn Yoruba mythos to have proper logical flow. But I think the world, she's not certain about what happens after the end, and she just does, she's terrified about non-existence. She's terrified of not being herself anymore. So she stays alive. She continues to extend her life, go through Daos, meet people, be a cheerleader for love, be around different love stories. I don't think she'll ever have her own. She'll build society, she'll find interesting things, she'll find artifacts, she'll stop wars, she'll start wars, she'll enter cities. I remember this one xianxia style manhua. I don't know, I don't understand the language, but it was a Chinese webtoon style, or was it Taiwanese? Because they usually stuff on the mainland and stuff from Taiwan usually have different feels. I think it was from Taiwan. So it's So the general vibe is that, oh, okay, it looks, it has different energies, it has different vibes, different flows, different spirits, and like the main character decides, I like a really young child falling into war and decimating groups of mortals because, well, even a weak immortal, well, is a freaking immortal. But it was really cool when there was this one super powered mortal that fought a super weak immortal. The immortal still won, but like it was obvious that if this person fits the basic requirements to cultivate, they would. That's the one thing. It's like, I think everyone would fit the basic requirements to cultivate, but nobody would want to like waste their ori on. Nobody will have reason to grow their ori, to expand their innate divinity and all that bullshit. Like, people just want peace and glory to the empire. But she'll travel different worlds, meet new people. I don't know. I don't think I want to include new cultures. Like, at least for the first podcast, it's solely based on like Yoruba style. Then maybe expand outwards, learn more about more cultures, have like a fantastical setting for each one, and have stories. And oh god, it's so cool. Imagine having one of those like those manuals that like very European ambience style. Like I think Korean manuals literally have one of those as like a tag in any of those manuals, but instead you have it like in like a Turkey sultanate setting, and so cool. Or like a pre-Islamization of Arabia setting, like with more like jinns and like cool stuff. Or maybe like palace intrigue in the Islamized version of Arabia. But then again, we're so obsessed with what happens to the nobles, and nobody gives two shits about the peasants who are just eating and marrying and fucking and existing, and nobody knows how they live their lives because they didn't know how to read. They knew math, obviously, how you count grain and pay taxes, but like it wasn't math that required writing. It wasn't math. I use math. The English I speak is BRE, I think, sort of. And I want to improve my pronunciation, and maybe have a more. I like how clear my English is, but like have a more posh London accent, but a better clarity of English, like where every word is clear and easily understandable, easily, where I pronounce each word. And I also want to have that feeling for Yoruba, because like rich people Yoruba just has vibes and spirits and energy that I want to recreate. Like, yeah. So our main character is on a journey to feel. She's on a journey to have reason to exist, a reason to want to be, a reason to seek divinity. And she does that by, seeking divinity, finding out stories, traveling, meeting interesting people. I want her to meet interesting people. I want her to be a spectator of various different kinds of love stories. I want her to be an active participant in helping people reach their happiness. I want her to travel her world, even though her world is going to be heavily based on like Yoruba style worlds, and decide this is what she's going to be, this is how she's going to look. And she's going to decide, interesting looking people, maybe with purple hair. And I want to describe skin different ways, because like you can't just describe African skin, like sub-Saharan African skin, as just like brown. Like people have different textures to it. Like my skin is very red in like intense sun, like a deep, almost clay pot red. Then in like dim light, it's like a grayish blue. Then like cool sunlight, it's like a very deep yellow tint with greenish undertones. Yeah. Or in like just vibes generally, Oh yeah, look at the time. By talking about random off-point things, she managed to get to 25 minutes. Okay, almost 25 minutes. But that's the kind of story I want to start. Maybe in this podcast. Maybe in this podcast. I should. Okay, Dio is doing this as a challenge. Next week Sunday is going to be the pilot reading of this podcast. Yeah. You've been postponing it, even though you have a second Anchor account, and you're I'm going to settle down and start the fucking podcast. Just do a pilot episode next week, or you come back. Dio's head in the corner of shame. Dio couldn't do a podcast. But yeah. Fuck. It has been a personal code of conduct. We'll see whether Dio comes back with the pilot episode. And we'll see. Oh God, can I do world building in a week? Fuck. This is a challenge for yourself. This is one challenge, and at least you're going to learn something. You're going to work towards a certification. Any certification. I'm thinking either database administrator or I already have a data analysis certification. Database administration and data engineering and cloud architect. I don't know. Let's just go with database management. Yeah, at least because you'll be doing a lot of crazy SQL scripting and doc reading and fuck. Well, cheers to another Monday. Cheers to another weekend wasted. It has been a personal code of conduct. I hope you like my weird rambling off in a story.
trendybeats.com.
DJ Spinall, top boy.
Ololade mi asake.
Tune into the king of songs and blues.
ọmọ ológo kò ní sófò gbogbo ìṣòro rẹ ọ̀tá ní òkò ẹnu ẹ ò ní gbẹ ò ní mọ́fò ọmọ yìí kò ọpọlọ lọ fi ń gbé kò ṣé you no like designer àbí you no like to gapa ibigi lágàtì gàgà you gats to shop ẹtẹ
Here we go.
palazzo jígì gbọ́jà kò lè reason no sleeping ọmọ no dulling gba ọ̀bẹ́tì kíákíá ọmọ yá mi máì jí o ṣàmọ̀ yá mi òdìdẹ mọ́ta wọn tá mi ẹ bá mi ṣá mi. Come on, 1, 2, 3,
come on.
I don't feel like I'm not my type. If no be God, oh don't die. Oh no like I'm low, oh no like I get back, oh no like I get butter. She like it, the bomba. She like the one we don't got anaconda. 2 girls with my me food. Which one I do luck? And I say, bad boy, I'm single. 20 girls I do luck. It was so girl, the massive party done the start, yeah, everybody done the dance. It was so girl, the massive party done the start, yeah, everybody done the dance. Get the money, it's my hobby. Get the popping at the para, really lobby. As you can see, for overseas, and the fam, Mr. Money all over, be the money's going. Cause she, you love me, but what Gucci, Versace, could any say who? About that cool, but you say who? Come a jogger, cool and you be,
Here we go.
palazzo, jiggy, gbọ́jà kò lè reason. No sleeping, no no dulling. Gba ọ̀bẹ́tì kíákíá ọmọ yá mi. Máì jí o ṣàmọ̀ yá mi. Òdìdẹ mọ́ta wọn tá mi.
On the building.
Ṣá mi. Ọmọ lọ́mọ láàrin ọ̀gá.
1, 2, 3, come on.
I don't feel like I'm not my type. If no be God, oh don't die. Oh no like I'm low, oh no like I get back, oh no like I get butter. She like the bomba, she like the one we don't got anaconda. 2 girls with my me too. Which one I good luck?
Which one I
I say,
good luck?
bad boy, I'm single.
Oh, wow.
20 girls I good luck. Ekwesu, girl, the massive party done the start, yeah, everybody done the dance. Ekwesu, girl, the massive party done the start, yeah, everybody done the dance.
DJ Spinall, Ololade mi asake. Oh my God! Bring that beat back. 1, 2, 3, come on.
Palazzo, jiggy, gbọ́jà kò lè reason. No sleeping, ọmọ no dulling. Gba ọ̀bẹ́tì kíákíá ọmọ yá mi. Máì jí o ṣàmọ̀ yá mi. Òdìdẹ mọ́ta wọn tá mi. Ẹ bá mi ṣá mi. Ọmọ lọ́mọ láàrin ọ̀gá.
Tune into the king of songs
More music on trendybeats.com.